Very warm welcome to part 4 of the special series on the factors affecting the Indian monsoons. In this part, let's analyze the role of La Nina conditions on the Indian monsoons. We'll not just analyze the role of La Nina on the summer southwest monsoons, but we will also understand the crucial role it plays in the winter retreating monsoons as well. First, let's analyze what do we actually mean by La Nina conditions. As we are all aware, the normal direction of winds in the tropical areas is from east to west. We call them the trade winds or the easterlies. Under normal conditions, these easterlies are pushing the warm surface water of the central Pacific from the east to the west. In this journey, they are pushing the warm surface water in such a way that offshore winds are observed along the coast of South America. The winds are blowing offshore from Central America and South America. All of this starts pushing warm water away from the surface, which leads to the formation of upwelling of cold water along the west coast of South America and Central America. As the warm water keeps pushing towards the central West Pacific, that warm water keeps building up in that area. The more the warm water accumulates, the stronger is the convection in that area. The stronger the convection, the more is the low pressure. The stronger the low pressure, the stronger the easterlies get. Therefore, normal conditions in the Pacific tend to get exaggerated. They tend to strengthen, which is why the easterlies over the central part of the Pacific, they strengthen. The more powerful the easterlies get, the more accumulated the warm water gets along the central West Pacific. The more the warm water, the more intense the convection. The more intense the convection, the more powerful the low pressure. Along with this thing, with the strengthened easterlies, these stronger easterlies are moving offshore over South America in a more powerful way, triggering even more powerful upwelling of cold water. Meaning thereby, since a cold surface now develops in the central East Pacific, all of that cold air, cold surface cools down the air above it. All of that cold air is dense and heavy, and it creates a strong high pressure conditions. The stronger this high pressure, the stronger will be the easterlies over the central Pacific, which will push more warm water towards the central West Pacific. All of this intense, strong easterlies are able to sustain a wedge of warm water along the central West Pacific, and the height of this warm water can be, you can say, around 2 feet more than the mean sea level. Now the thing is, since this warm water body is now present, it plays a major role in governing the climate of the surrounding area. First of all, presence of all this warm water leads to a very strong low pressure in this area, which precipitates all the moisture in the form of tropical cyclones, etc. over the coast of Australia. Now, what impact does this have? As you can clearly see, this is a very well developed La Nina. It pushes all the warm waters towards the central West Pacific. All of this warm water extends the area of low pressure to southern latitudes as well. Now let's understand how this affects the Indian monsoons. As we have just analyzed, strengthened normal conditions lead to the upwelling of cold water, which develop a high pressure. And if in the central west, you can say central East Pacific, we find this body of cold water developing, we call that condition as La Nina condition. All the accumulating warm water extends to lower latitudes. The area of low pressure shifts to lower latitudes as well. As we have analyzed in the earlier parts, this part of the subtropical high pressure belt of the southern hemisphere is called the Mascarene High, which is responsible for the monsoonal winds entering India. If this Mascarene High strengthens, that is going to lead to more powerful monsoonal winds. La Nina conditions create low pressure conditions in this area which extend to lower latitudes. Low pressure areas lead to intense convection. Intense convection favors stronger convergence in this area. Stronger convergence to the east of Australia favors stronger divergence from the mascarene high. All of this convection leads to strong rising of air which splits along the tropopause. Over the mascarene high, it triggers a more powerful subsidence of air which strengthens the mascarene high even further. So in short, La Nina conditions end up strengthening the mascarene high. The stronger this high pressure, the more powerful will be the southeast trade winds, which upon crossing the equator will become more powerful southwesterly winds. Therefore, La Nina conditions strengthen the southwest monsoonal winds, not the moisture but the winds. They are responsible for early advent of the Indian monsoons. They are responsible for faster and better circulation of the monsoonal cell with respect to the summer monsoons. But over here, one thing needs to be noted. Since La Nina condition is the extension of the normal prevailing conditions on Earth, La Nina conditions may tend to exist for longer periods as well. I'll come to El Nino in the next part, but over here we need to understand one thing, because this factor will help us understand why peninsular India observed droughts this year. They have been facing certain condition for the past 3 years. Now observe this carefully. This is a plot of El Nino and La Nina conditions in the Pacific Ocean. In the Pacific Ocean, we look for the surface temperature of this part of the Pacific. If the surface temperature of water in this part of the Pacific is above normal, we plot a chart in the positive. If the temperature of this part of the Pacific is below normal, we plot a negative chart. Therefore, a positive deviation is called El Nino phase. A negative deviation is called a La Nina phase. La Nina being the extension of, or you can say, exaggerated normal conditions. La Nina conditions at times are able to exist for longer. For example, El Nino conditions. I'll deal with El Nino in detail in the next part. El Nino conditions are able to last for 1.5 years, but La Nina conditions are able to exist for even 3 consecutive years. So when for 3 consecutive years, this part of the Pacific observes surface temperatures below normal, we keep plotting a chart in the negative. Starting from December 2020, December 2020, December 2021 and till December 2022, we observed 3 consecutive years of La Nina conditions. El Nino conditions only began forming in December 2022. Till December 2022, all the 3 preceding years observed 3 consecutive years of La Nina, which is why a body of warm water was present over here for 3 consecutive years. Now this body of warm water is going to play a very crucial role for the retreating monsoons. Observe this very carefully. Peninsular India, particularly the Coromandel coast, receives maximum rainfall during the retreating monsoons. As the ITCZ is retreating, the northeast trade winds re-establish themselves over the Indian subcontinent, which bring precipitation to the Coromandel coast. These are called the retreating monsoons or winter monsoons, but they are being attracted to the retreating ITCZ. The retreating ITCZ is the band of low pressure, but due to 3 consecutive years of La Nina, this band of low pressure, all of this warm water body is creating a very strong low pressure, which creates a stronger pull deflecting the winter monsoonal winds away from India. Peninsular India has been receiving 3 years of consecutive poor winter rainfall due to La Nina conditions, pulling moisture-laden winds away from the Indian subcontinent. Since till December 2022, this condition existed. The Coromandel coast received lesser rainfall in every winter monsoon. Peninsular India received lesser rainfall every year because of this condition. The conditions were worsened in 2023 because the subtropical easterly jet stream was delayed because the late descent of the polar vortex, which is why Biparjoy was able to form. When Biparjoy formed, El Nino conditions were present. Nevertheless, what I'm trying to say over here is that 3 consecutive years of former La Nina deprived Peninsular India of winter rainfall. Immediate next year 2023, when Peninsular India was supposed to receive good rainfall by southwest monsoons, their conditions were ruined because of Biparjoy. It deviated moisture away from Peninsular India. Whatever moisture was to be received by the Western Ghats last summers was deprived because of monsoons, which is why in 2023 we observed very severe droughts in Peninsular India. I'll link this further again with El Nino in the next part. But for now, I would like to summarize that La Nina conditions in general are very beneficial for summer monsoons as it strengthens the mascarene high and it strengthens the monsoonal winds. So good for the monsoonal winds of summer, southwest monsoons. But it is very bad for winter monsoons as this entire body of low pressure pulls the moisture-laden winds away from India, depriving it of the winter monsoons. This is all for this part. Stay tuned for further information. Thank you.